Ilhan Omar refused to vote on sanctions against Turkey. She also refused to recognize the Armenian genocide. This had many people wondering, is she on the payroll of Erdogan? In fact, Enes Kanter, I believe I'm pronouncing his name wrong, NBA star, said it seems like she's on the payroll of Erdogan. But now we have this story. One of Erdogan's biggest allies contributed to Ilhan Omar's campaign. And there it is. So they say. I actually completely disagree with this narrative, and I don't think this story is necessarily that important. One of the most frustrating things to me when it comes to funding is the inversion of quid pro quo. The idea being that because he donated to her, she must be serving him. It's actually much more simple than that. She does things Turkey likes, therefore people who like Turkey give her money so she keeps doing it. It's really annoying to me when people say that someone is on the payroll of the NRA and that they're doing the NRA's bidding. And I'm like, no. You missed the point. When somebody votes on laws that are beneficial to gun rights, then you're going to see gun rights organizations being like, let's keep supporting this person. They're inverting it. Inverted quid pro quo. But let's read this story to be fair. And I think I'll end up being critical. But let's see what's really going on. Because maybe there's something I'm missing here. She is receiving money from this guy. Maybe it is a quid pro quo. The Daily Caller reports the co-chairman of a Turkish American advocacy group with close ties to Ankara contributed $1,500 last month to the campaign for Rep. Ilhan Omar, who was under fire this week over votes she cast supporting Turkish government positions, campaign finance records show. Omar and the activist Halil Mutlu were also photographed together at an event for the Turkish American Steering Committee, a US-based nonprofit that has for years waged public relations campaigns in support of Turkish government policies and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Yeah, no, it makes sense. You know, here's the thing. I announced a couple years ago I was going to go investigate Sweden. Paul Joseph Watson of InfoWars donated to that campaign. They then tried claiming that I was on the payroll of InfoWars. That's not true. If you want to donate, he can. It was a public donation form. It was this whole big thing, and it's stupid. It turns out the answer is much more simple. Is she getting paid to do things? No. She's friends with the guy. They agree with each other. So he gives her money and she does things he likes. And I got to admit, $1,500, not that much money in the span of that campaign. But let's read on. They say, Mutlu, who Turkish media outlets have reported is Erdogan's cousin, is co-chairman of TASC, according to the group's website. Founded in 2015, TASC has orchestrated public relations push to cast doubt on whether the Ottoman Empire committed genocide against Armenians more than a century ago. And this is where I completely agree with the criticism, and we get into the controversy. AOC, I'm sorry, not AOC, Ilhan Omar, sorry, they're in the squad, so photographed with a guy who denies the Armenian genocide, and Ilhan Omar refused to vote on a resolution recognizing it. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Bears repeating. 2015, they orchestrated PR push to cast doubt on the Armenian genocide. Now that might explain why Ilhan Omar didn't vote on recognizing it, because she doesn't think it happened. I don't care about who's donating to her campaign, because she clearly is an Armenian genocide denier, and that's why they support her, not the other way around. And that means she won't vote on these resolutions. Well, it passed anyway with broad bipartisan support. The group has also held rallies outside the White House condemning Syrian Kurds as terrorists, a position held by the Turkish government. Media reports show Mutlu, a physician based in Connecticut, has also led TASC protests outside the Pennsylvania home of Fethullah Gulen, an exiled Muslim cleric who Erdogan wants extradited back to Turkey. Omar came under intense scrutiny Tuesday over 2 votes she cast on resolutions aimed at punishing Turkey over its incursion earlier this month against Syrian Kurds. Omar was the only Democrat to vote against imposing sanctions against Turkey over airstrikes against the Syrian Kurds. Was I say against enough? Who have worked with U.S. forces to fight against ISIS. The House voted 403 to 16 in favor of the measure. No, I will stop and say 15 Republicans did vote against it as well. So if you want to criticize people for not supporting it, there are Republicans in there too. The bigger question, though, is that Ilhan Omar, in my opinion, is an overt anti-Semite and Armenian genocide denier. I wouldn't be surprised if she denied some other particular genocides, because she seems to be a very fringe conspiracy theorist type individual, laden with scandals, forced to pay fines, campaign finance law violation. For some reason, she doesn't resign. Don't ask me. I mean, I'll say this, she doesn't have to. And neither did Katie Hill, who did and then complained about it. Your choice, dude. The Minnesota Progressive received the blowback for her defense of a neutral vote she cast on a resolution to recognize the Armenian genocide. Yeah, she voted present. The House, there were some other people who did as well. The House overwhelmingly passed the resolution 405-11, with 3 lawmakers, including Omar, voting present. In a statement after the vote, Omar asserted that the resolution was being used as a cudgel in a political fight against Turkey, which is a NATO ally of the U.S. She also said that she was withholding judgment until an academic consensus had been formed. Wait, what does that mean? There is an academic consensus. However, though, I think Daily Caller may be interpreting this wrong. She said something about, I could be in this wrong too, I could be wrong. But I thought she was saying something about an academic consensus on all genocide, including the Native Americans and stuff like that. But I guess, sure. Advocates for the resolution said that Omar's statement mirrors propaganda pushed by the Turkish government. Essentially, this is a Turkish talking point she's throwing out. No, stop. I don't care for that. This is a talking point of so-and-so. It is annoying. Argue what she's saying. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care whose idea it is. Target the idea, please. I don't care whose money she's taking, to an extent. I don't care about who's talking about these things as well. I care about the fact that she's an Armenian genocide denier. I mean, she's seen in photographs with them and refuses to recognize it. So I don't care about whose talking point it is. She is lining up to carry Turkey's water on this. Full stop, no. I'm going to be very, very critical of this. I cannot stand that. You want to argue something? Argue on principle. I don't care whose water you think she's carrying. She has bad ideas. She's carrying her own water. Criticize her. U.S. lobbyists on the Turkish government payroll have fought for decades to prevent votes on any resolutions that refer to Armenian deaths as a genocide. While the government has acknowledged that mass deaths occurred, Erdogan and other Turkish government officials use phrases like events of 1915. Wow. TASC has helped in that effort. In 2015, the group launched a campaign called Let History Decide to counter Armenian groups' push for a resolution. On Monday, ahead of the House vote, TASC urged supporters through social media to contact their lawmakers to oppose the resolution. Not going to happen. You know why? Because we in America recognize historical events, and it's got broad bipartisan support. But nice try. You're allowed to speak. I respect your attempt, but I also think it's kind of gross. But congratulations. Hey, you got at least one ally on the Democrat side with Ilhan Omar. Liberal pundits blasted Omar over her defense of the votes. This is awful. Liberal New York Times columnist Michelle Goldberg tweeted in response to Omar's statement, "The freshman Democrat has been one of President Donald Trump's harshest critics, especially on social justice issues, and she's lying. It is a game. They aren't serious. Please stop." She doesn't care about any of this stuff. She claims she's opposed to sanctions, but she wants to sanction Israel. She's full of it. Why is anyone defending her? You know what, Democrats? You reap what you sow. Congratulations. You've embraced an Armenian genocide denier. What do you want us to say about it? They say, under Erdogan's watch, Turkey has become the world's leading jailer of journalists. That's in large part thanks to Erdogan's crackdown on news outlets seen as favorable to Gulen, who operates a worldwide network of supporters as part of the Hizmet movement. Erdogan has also acknowledged that an American pastor, Andrew Brunson, was held in Turkish prison for more than 2 years as a bargaining chip in hopes of gaining Gulen's extradition back to Turkey. Turkish authorities arrested Brunson in October 2016 on charges that he had links to the Gulen movement and Kurdish separatists, both of which are considered terror groups by Turkey. Wes Mitchell, a State Department official, called the charges laughable during an April 18, 2018 congressional hearing. The Trump administration negotiated Brunson's release in October of 2018. NBA player Enes Kanter, who was born in Turkey as an outspoken critic of Erdogan, blasted Omar for being the only Democrat to vote against sanctions. So we know this. I don't want to rehash the videos. I did this video yesterday. Let me just end by saying, I wanted to talk about this because I think it is unfair to make the story and frame this about she took money from an Erdogan ally. Don't care. Literally don't. She has ideas. She has bad ones. We can talk about her, and we don't need to make it seem like she's carrying water for anybody. That's what they try and do. That's what they try and do to me. They try and do it to conservatives, they're grifters, whatever. No. You want to accuse me, Zuby, Ruben, whoever, of having bad ideas, you talk about our ideas. But when you try to hide motives or quid pro quo, no, I'm not going to play that. Because you do nothing to discredit the ideas. It's an ad hominem, okay? Erdogan gets this, Ilhan Omar gets support from these people because she's an awful person who agrees with them. That's it. They donate to her campaign, not because she has to do anything, but because they know she will do it anyway, and they want her to win. That's how it works. People don't get hired by companies because the company is bribing them to do something. People get hired because they do it already. These media companies aren't forcing people to make social justice content. They're hiring social justice activists who then go and make the content. It's that simple. Thanks for hanging out. I'll wrap it up there. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Podcast every day at 6:30 p.m. I'll see you all next time.